Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to see you here at this new episode of MobieTalks. For those who are taking part, this is the first time that are taking part to the MobieTalks. MobieTalks is like a new format we created almost 1 year ago to talk about employee empowerment together with opinion leader, experts, and brands, with a specific focus on the hospitality and retail. So let me quickly share my screen so you can see the presentation that we prepared for you, and then we can start. Okay. I hope that everyone will be able to see the presentation. Johan, Anna, can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, as I was saying, this one is the new episode of MobieTalks. Every time we're talking about best practice strategies to educate, enable, and engage the customer-facing teams. This time we'll talk about a different topic, but will be very linked to the main one. Of course, before we start, let me do a short intro. My name is Laura Fornaroli. I'm the marketing manager at MobieTrain. MobieTrain is the AI platform designed to increase the performance and the engagement for the frontline teams. And we provide them with the right tools and the right knowledge in order to increase the engagement and the performance. And by doing this, by enabling them, engaging them, and educating them, brands are able to change their team's behavior and create a memorable customer experience. So today, I'm not here alone. I'm here with Johan, Chief Product Officer at MobieTrain. I'm here with Anna, product manager, and I'm also here with Julia. She's our marketing specialist, and she will take care of the chat. So please don't be shy. We have a chat for you. You can share ideas, best practice. You can ask your question, and then we will share them with Johan and Anna. As I was saying, today we're not going to talk about MobieTrain in particular, but we're going to talk about the artificial intelligence and how it can be used to enhance frontline teams. But we will also show you more on Mobie, our new AI assistant, and we will show you exactly how you can use it to provide instant support and personalized assistance to your teams. Okay, so I was saying this one. Sorry, the slides are not going at the same speed today. So during those, I would say 45 minutes, not more, we will start with the artificial intelligence, its strengths, and of course, its application in retail and hospitality. So we're not going to talk about the artificial intelligence on a generic point of view, but with a very specific view on those two industries. Then we will show you how artificial intelligence can be used to increase the performance of your front-end teams. And then last but not least, we're going to show you Mobie in action together with Anna. So I think that we can start with the MobieTalks. So as you know, everyone is now talking about the artificial intelligence. As I would say, we were focused on a very specific topic. And the first question is for you, Johan. So how artificial intelligence is impacting the retail and hospitality landscape? Can you tell us more?
Yes, very good question. And yeah, thank you for the introduction, Laura, and hello to everyone who's watching. First of all, before we dive into AI, I think it's good to talk a bit more about the market in general for retail and hospitality, because yeah, it has been a crazy time in the past couple of years, of course. First, we had COVID. COVID meant a complete shutdown for the retail and hospitality sector. And yeah, we know that many people have either lost or left their jobs during that time. But also, as a result of COVID, of the shutdown, customers, they moved to digital channels. And they got used to digital shopping, which can be very convenient, of course, because online you have a very personalized experience, you have easy access to information, you don't have any waiting times, etc. So now after COVID, we see that, customers are returning back to the stores, but that their expectations and shopping habits are a bit different. So they basically want the same convenience that they got used to digitally, but now combine it with in-person experiences, which is also why a good omni-channel experience becomes even more important. Meanwhile, we are, of course, also dealing with high inflation and higher cost. And also we see that the staff problems, they still remain also after COVID. So it could be a very difficult market to navigate in at the moment. But luckily, we have technology to help us out here. I would like to give a few examples on how I think AI could help. One important element is that it's able to automate labor-intensive and complex processes. So think, for example, about the scheduling of your employees. AI can not only automate it, but it can also optimize it based on data and automatically put your top sellers on the busiest moments, for example, which of course is not only making your process more efficient, but also improving your business performance. Another example is that you can optimize your inventory levels with predictive analytics. AI is able to analyze historical sales data and combine it with market trends and other factors to basically forecast your demand more accurately, which in turn will also optimize your profit margins, of course. AI can also definitely be used to improve your customer experience. So on one hand, you can use it to personalize the experience for your customers and give them recommendations based on their browsing and purchasing history. But you can also use it to improve your support with chatbots that use NLP to understand and respond to their inquiries, which of course will lead to a higher customer satisfaction. And then last but not least, to also put it a bit more in our own context, you can, of course, use AI to empower your frontline teams, which is what we are focusing on today, but also what we are working on with the Mobie Train product. You can do it in many ways. Think about easily creating or translating learning content, personalizing the learning experience. You can let your employees role play with technology to help them practice their skills. Or give them access to a chatbot to help them find information fast and effortless, which is what we will show you in a bit, of course. So I think overall, adopting these technologies will, on one side, help you setting higher standards for service and personalization, which will help you to align with the rising expectations of your customers. But it will also make your processes more efficient and your workforce more productive to deal with the tight labor market and, potential high turnover rates that you might experience.
Okay, thank you. So I think exactly that I would like to focus on the final point that you shared. So I would like to start with the data. While I was preparing myself for the MobieTalks, I was also looking for some data to understand better the context and so on. And I found this very interesting data. So it's like in 2023, 80% of the manager were totally okay with the usage of artificial intelligence. But if we look at the frontline employees, we can see that here we have only 20% of the frontline employees that are using the artificial intelligence to increase their efficiency or to have better performances. So we already discussed, I would say, the challenges and the benefits from the company side in retail and hospitality. The next question is for you, Anna. So how does artificial intelligence impact the experience of the frontline employees?
Thanks, Laura. That is indeed a very interesting question. And I do think that the number that you see here, to me, it is not that weird that frontliners are not using AI at its full advantage yet. I think it's the responsibility of companies like ourselves, like Mobie Train, to help and guide other organizations in really checking out what is the actual solution with AI, because like Johan said, there are many possibilities with AI. There are so many things that AI can solve, but of course we need to help our customers to find out like what is the ideal solution for their employees, for their company as well, but also for their employees' experience. And at MobieTrain, we strongly believe indeed in an AI assistant for employees. That is also why this is today's subject, of course. And why do we think that? Well, I want to focus on 3 pillars. Why we think that an AI assistant is probably useful for your employees and for your frontline teams. And those 3 pillars are onboarding, instant support, and personalization. So what do we mean with that? I think in every sector, but definitely in retail and hospitality, onboarding can be a real struggle. It's really time consuming. It takes a lot of time, and it happens more and more lately because indeed people are switching jobs constantly, more rapidly than they used to, definitely than before COVID, as Johan explained. So the onboarding is becoming really important. So we really want to facilitate that and speed up that onboarding process in retail and hospitality. As we said, because turnover rates there are particularly high. So, and we do think that the onboarding process can be facilitated with AI because many people, when they start onboarding, they really need to rely on more experienced employees, people who have been working at a certain organization for a longer time. And I think that AI can take over that role a little bit and facilitating those people, leaving the experts to their jobs, but also helping new employees to onboard faster and more easily. And for them also more comfortably, because everyone knows when you're starting a new job and you need to ask questions, stupid questions repeatedly, everyone feels a little bit silly when you do that. So I think when you can ask those questions to your AI assistant, your AI colleague, I think it will feel even more humane instead of asking it to other colleagues and other experts within your company. Other than that, of course, it also is the same thing for more experienced employees as well. I think definitely within retail and hospitality, you have a lot of employees scattered all over different locations, stores, shops, event locations. So it is very hard sometimes for them to get some feedback or get some help from people that are not in the same location as they are, or maybe not working at the same time. So also that instant support for onboarders as well as for more experienced employees. They can just like refer to an AI assistant to ask all their urgent questions in the heat of the moment while they're in the flow of work. For any guidance, and then they can really increase their efficiency as well, because they don't have to wait too long for a colleague to reply or a manager to reply, but they can just ask their AI assistant, for example. And then lastly, of course, we have also the fact of personalization. It goes as well also for new employees as for the more experienced ones within your organization. Everyone needs like their learnings and information and knowledge at their own pace. And I think AI can really assist on personalizing that for every team member in your frontline team.
Okay. So
And if I can add one more thingy, because I think something that we definitely still see happening is that it's sometimes very unclear who needs what kind of information, and something that still happens a lot is that then everyone is sent to a classroom training for specific knowledge, while maybe not at all times it's needed, right? I think the personalization will also definitely help by making sure that you don't take people off the work floor to teach them something that they actually already knew, and especially if you have like the staff problems, I think that is even a bigger way. So I think with that personalization, you can really make sure that the time that people spend on learning is really tailored to their individual and specific needs.
Exactly, that's another great point. Having the right content, the right time, but also job-specific information that might be very helpful for those people and not generic information that we can provide to them. So we were saying, of course, onboarding, instant support, personalization. So we know that for example, the onboarding, creating a better customer experience. Those are the main challenges for people in retail and hospitality. But sometimes we can see that people, when are talking about the artificial intelligence in some way or another, I'm not saying that those people are scared, but I'm not, I would say, not very convinced by the artificial intelligence and its impact. So on this, I would like to say that those kind of tools, the artificial intelligence tools, should be seen as an assistant to the frontliners instead of just replacement. So as you know, the human interaction will be way more crucial in the future on creating memorable experience. So it's important to provide those people with the right tool and knowledge. What do you think, Johan?
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. I definitely don't think that AI won't replace workers. I think, yeah, instead it will help them be more productive by simplifying their jobs. I think they, yeah, also their jobs could be changed a little bit. Of course, you can automate routine tasks, but I think then the jobs will just change and be more service oriented. But of course, yeah, I also think it will help workers to yeah, acquire new skills in a very efficient and effective way. So yeah, I think Hannah also said it well. It should be seen more as a virtual assistant for your employees. But I also even think over time that it can evolve in that AI can, yeah, be more of a performance coach for your employees, and they can proactively help your employees be the best version of themselves. But we also definitely believe that keeping the human touch is very important, especially in retail and hospitality. Like there's a reason that people also returned back to the stores after COVID. You know, otherwise they would have just stayed with the digital shopping. I think people always value the human interactions and the in-person experiences. So I think just the combination will just be very powerful, but it will not be a replacement.
Exactly. So thank you. And this is exactly what our new chatbot is aiming to do. So simplify your employees' flow of work and provide them with instant support and personalized assistance. So with Mobie employees, we know that they can ask questions, receive immediate answer, and access essential brand information. So Anna, can you tell us a bit more about Mobie and its key advantages?
Yes, of course. As you notice, we indeed believe in the value of an AI chatbot, an AI assistant, and eventually perhaps even an AI coach for the frontline teams. On the slide, you can see all of the kind of benefits of an AI assistant. But what it comes down to for me is really providing the correct information at the correct time for your frontliners. Because we all know, like, there is some knowledge that you want your employees to be really acquainted with, that you really train your employees, for example, via microlearnings on specific knowledge on a specific topic. But people also learn a lot by just interacting with a chatbot or with ChatGPT, for example, or with Google, with your Alexa. Every time you ask a question, you also get information back, and this is also a way of learning, and I think that will be used more and more, and it will be more common that you have like a really conversational way of learning as well in the future. And I think that is very important to have the distinction between this is knowledge that you really train employees on, and this is knowledge that you just want to provide your employees whenever they need it. So that will be a large distinction, and that is one of the advantages of Mobie, the AI chatbots, that it just provides the information you need at the time that you need it.
Okay, perfect. So I was reading the chat in the meantime, and I can see that Tim left a comment for us. So it was saying that absolutely, the onboarding aspect seems very interesting. I suppose artificial intelligence can also coach you if you are an experienced colleague, a tool to gain or repeat information in the workspace. So not so much a replacement. Exactly. This is exactly the same point of view that we're sharing right now. So thank you for sharing this with us. I don't know if you and Anna, do you want to comment something on Tim's post?
No, I just fully agree. I think he's totally right.
Okay, so I think that it's time to share something more on Mobie. So at least we can see it in action, and then Anna will have maybe one question or more, so we can provide them with more specific example for every industries. But the stage is yours, so if you want, you can share your screen.
Yes, I will do that in a second because I see Tim is already very eager to learn more on Mobie. I think he already knows our platform a little bit if I see his question on where does the knowledge from Mobie come from. And I'm really happy with that question because that is one of the differentiators of Mobie compared to, for example, more general AI like ChatGPT or Gemini and other platforms.
Exactly. And in the meantime, just so you know, we have another question from Tim. I'm going to show it on stage. What is the main source of knowledge for Mobie, and is that the AI library in CMS?
Indeed. Thanks, Tim, for that question. It's a really good one. I'm going to demo how Mobie works, and I'm going to touch upon that subject as well. But for those who are not acquainted with our products, I'm going to give a brief introduction on what you see as well before I start working on Mobie. So what you see here is just a demo environment of our MobieTrain application. It's a fictitious company that we made. It's a pasta company. So it has all kind of content in there concerning pasta. So let's say it's a company that is selling pasta and they want their employees to be acquainted with all types of pasta and all types of how to make pasta. So that is actually what you're seeing here on the screen. As you can see, these are all kind of like learning tracks, like how do I make lasagna and stuff like that. It's just because there are so many different people in the call from different companies. I think pasta is something everyone can relate to, so we're just doing this as a sort of example. I'm also sharing this like on a desktop version because I assume most of the participants are looking at the webinar in a desktop version, but of course you can also view this on any mobile device, any smartphone or a tablet, and then it will look like this as well, of course. But for now, I'm just going to present it on this desktop version. So this is the homepage that your employees will land on whenever they open the MobieTrain application. And they will see an overview of the microlearnings that are provided. But we're not talking on that topic today. What we're talking about today is, of course, this little fellow, this icon of Mobie. It's always at the bottom of the home screen to have it like really at your fingertips, because if it's a mobile device, you really want people to be able to click it directly on their home screen. And if I click it, you will see that the Mobie chatbot pops up. So he is so friendly to introduce himself first and asks then like, what can I help you with today? So it can be used similarly as ChatGPT or any other chat that you're familiar with. And you can just like ask any kind of question here. So let's say that I would ask the question, how do I make semolina pasta? Because this is the pasta account, I'm just showing this as an example. So if I ask, how do I make semolina pasta? You will see that Mobie can answer like how to make it. And of course, then you might think like, well, this is not that special that Mobie can give this answer because it's similar. I can ask this to Google, I can ask this to Alexa, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever. But there is indeed a large difference in there where Mobie gets his knowledge from. This is not knowledge that is available on the internet. This is knowledge that has been uploaded within the MobieTrain app specifically. So that means that everyone using the MobieTrain app can decide which knowledge is being shared via Mobie with his employees. And that is, of course, a very large differentiator with other AI services, because here you can really determine what you want to share with your employees and what knowledge you want to share with your employees. We will dive indeed in some more examples later on, and to show you why this is so important. But I can show you, for example, that if I ask another question, let's say, how do I make pizza? Then Mobie won't be able to answer that, because the knowledge is not, he's not getting that knowledge from the internet, because he's getting that knowledge from MobieTrain, from the MobieTrain platform itself. And because he cannot answer the question, he will say, like, okay, I cannot help you with making pizza, but I can help you with making pasta and recipes for pasta and more history about pasta, for example. So where is this information coming from? This information is indeed, as Tim assumed, coming from the MobieTrain content management system, the CMS. So that is the application behind this one. And your employees don't have access to that CMS system. This is only something that administrators, a very limited set of people, can access. And that is where you manage all the content that is in the MobieTrain app, so everything you see here, and therefore also the knowledge of Mobie. So let me quickly share that part as well, that it becomes a little bit more clear to you. So this is behind the scenes of the MobieTrain application. This is our CMS system for the pasta account, the fictitious company. And you can see here that we uploaded 4 documents here. These are just PDF documents, and they contain more information about the history of pasta, the types of pasta recipes, etc., etc. For example, I can show you one of the documents that we uploaded. It's just a PDF document of about 200 pages. It is completely written in English, and we just upload it in the CMS. You can really easily add any type of PDF here, and then it gets uploaded, and Mobie knows everything what is in the documents. The interesting part on this as well is that all this documentation was in English. But let's say that I now ask a question to Mobie in Dutch, for example. If I ask Mobie how to make carbonara pasta sauce, for example. Now I'm just asking a question in Dutch, and then you will see that Mobie will also directly reply in Dutch. So also for companies who struggle with having information available in different languages, this is a perfect solution, because you don't need to upload all those documents in all the different languages. Mobie just translates and adopts to the user itself. So that's also a very nice advantage of Mobie, that the translation is also automated, of course. So that is in a nutshell what Mobie is and what Mobie does. I don't know if there are any more questions.
Yes, actually, we have 2 different questions, so I'm going to show them on the stage. So the first one is from Didier. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right. I'm Italian, so I'm doing my best, so don't get mad at me. So the question is it cheaper than to train a ChatGPT API enterprise license for enterprises where you can restrict the content as well? Disadvantage at the moment is that this is quite pricey.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, we are working for Mobie. We are working with ChatGPT. In fact, so the technology behind Mobie is based on ChatGPT. We're using those services and that technology because we strongly believe that there are indeed some parties within the world that are really advanced with AI, and we just want to give the customers the benefit of using the best technology that there is. So we're using that technology, but the restriction on the content is indeed on our side. That's on MobieTrain's side. So we're making a combination of both worlds.
Okay, perfect. So I have another question from Peter. It's like, can you show let me show this on screen. Can you show the receipt book on which this Mobie is getting its information from?
Yeah, I can. To be honest, I don't know exactly which paragraph in the book Mobie is getting his information from, because I think in total we have about 300, 400 pages that Mobie can rely on for this demo account. But I can quickly show you, of course, within our CMS. So we have the recipe book here, the pasta book. That one looks like this. It's really a brochure with all kinds of pasta cooking tips. So you can see here that the semolina pasta is mentioned in here as well. So I assume this might come from this paragraph. Yeah.
We don't see it on the screen. We still see the CMS and not the document that you are.
Okay. Just a moment. Let me reshare.
Sometimes it's not
Yeah.
working. We can make it. Okay, now we can see it.
Yeah. So this is a pasta cooking recipe book. As you can see, it's just like really a brochure. And we have here the semolina pasta, for example. So probably one of the questions I asked is coming from this paragraph. But there's a possibility that there's also like more information on this kind of pasta that Mobie is getting his info from. So I don't know exactly where he gets his information. He just combines all the information he has and providing the best possible knowledge and answer for the user. So it looks like this. As you can see, there's like the PDFs have all kinds of different formats. The most important thing is, of course, that this is text, and Mobie can at this point only read text. It won't be possible for Mobie, for example, to recognize this picture and to derive information from that as well. It really has to be the text.
Okay, so we have another question. So let me go back to the first question so we can show it on stage. Okay, this is from N. The question is it also possible if the question can be answered by Mobie because the information isn't yet in the CMS? Do we get an overview of the question the employees ask to know the needs of the employees?
That's a very interesting question, and because that's on my wish list as well, that we indeed can make the output from Mobie also indeed as input for more content and more learnings as well. At this point, Mobie cannot do that yet, but as we said, we are constantly improving Mobie, and also OpenAI, the technology behind it, is also constantly improving. So I really hope that we get to do that as well, that we can provide you like a summarized version of like what are your employees searching for the most. So you can use that information to or upload new documents to Mobie, or even maybe provide more micro learnings, etc. as well, which is also one of the things we currently have now, is that you can, similar to the documents that we've uploaded to Mobie, you can also use those PDF documents to make a learning moment, a learning with AI as well. But that's another topic as well.
Okay, let me check if we have other questions. No. Okay, so now we were showing like the pasta demo. And can you give us some example of how, for example, customers from retail are already using Mobie?
Yes, indeed. Well, I'll first start with an example that we used ourselves within MobieTrain, because I think it will be applicable for retail as well as for hospitality. What we did internally, we also use our own application, of course, and we uploaded our own working regulations. So our HR policy and facts. At our company, and I think at a lot of companies, it's a quite extensive document that people need to sign and that you expect people to know. But in practice, we know that people cannot memorize the entire PDF from the first week they start working at MobieTrain. So we just uploaded that document as well to Mobie. And so all employees within MobieTrain, they can just ask like any question that is available in the working regulations. For example, what do I need to do when I become ill? And then Mobie will explain like you need to contact your manager, you need to have a doctor's attest to show to your manager, etc., etc. So that is one of the use cases that we have implemented ourselves, that we also advise clients to do. For example, if you have like policies, working regulations, some guidelines and procedures that everyone within your company needs to know, that is perfect information to upload to Mobie so that everyone has the same information, because we know that can be a real hassle, definitely in retail and hospitality. Like, where do you store all the documents and the information? How do you share that with your employees? And Mobie can be a very good answer to that as well. That's so that you can share the documentation, but also that your employees don't have to read through the entire document every time again, but they just can like ask a specific question and Mobie guides them towards that paragraph where the answer is. Then another example that we have seen with one of our clients is one of the clients in retail, and they were selling like all kind of kitchen equipment and kitchen stoves, etc. And they had like a product brochure of all the kitchen stoves that they were selling. And within that brochure, you had like the model name, the dimensions, the advantages, the materials, etc., etc. It was more like marketing sales material to provide to clients. But they uploaded that to Mobie as well. And so employees could also like really easily ask like, what are the advantages of model X? And Mobie would reply. Or what are the dimensions of the model Z, for example? And then also the employees could get very quick information from a very extensive brochure of like over 100 pages. That was very tricky for them to get to know from day one. So they could just like ask the questions to Mobie. And that was another use case that one of our clients had as well.
Okay, perfect. Do we have other questions? Let me check. In the meantime, another thing before I forgot it, I can see that some people are joining the webinar because I think that you click on the LinkedIn post. So I'm going to leave you my email there. So if you want to receive more content after the webinar, then you can send me an email and I will send you all the information after. Let me check. Okay, so we have another question from Peter. So let me show it on stage. How was the language model of Mobie trained?
Good question as well. So for Mobie, we rely on OpenAI technology, the same technology as is being used by ChatGPT. So we're currently using the version Turbo 3.5 for people who are really into the subject of AI and a little bit familiar with the language models of OpenAI. So that means that the language model of Mobie was trained by OpenAI, one of the leaders in AI technology. I think they were the first one to really have a publicly available AI service on the market. So they're training our Mobie language model, and we're also having the advantage that it keeps being trained constantly. If you want to know more on the languages that Mobie is available in, we have that information as well on our knowledge page. So you can see all the languages that Mobie supports. There are a lot of them, I think over 30, of course. And yeah, what you need to know, of course, OpenAI, it's mainly English oriented. So the English language model is definitely the best trained one. That is something that we can see. Also, other languages are very accurate. What we see is that sometimes it can struggle a little bit, like with, for example, Greek language, with certain characters and usage that is not being used that often, like the old Greek language, for example. That is things that might become a little bit more tricky for the language models. But again, it's constantly improving, and I think it will improve a lot in the coming months and years. So we're just having that advantage that we're using that technology, and that is improving constantly.
Thank you, Anna. I don't know if Johan, if you want to add something.
No, I think the thing is, of course, that OpenAI is improving, but of course we will also continue to improve Mobie over time. So I think that's also an important message.
Okay, perfect. So we still have 4 minutes, perfect in time. If we don't have, oh wait, any last? Okay, no, this is Julia. And then we have a team says that the Mobie bot, I think it's great for direct info indeed. Instead of redoing a learning, Mobie could jump in and give you the correct information quicker. That's quite good. I sometimes struggle to channel a large piece of information into learning. Okay, we have another question from Han. So let me share it on stage. What do we need to open up the Mobie bot in our platform?
Yeah, good question as well. If you have the MobieTrain application, and if you're a client, the best way is to get in touch with your customer success manager. They can also guide you in a process of having Mobie available in the platform. At this point, Mobie is still in a beta version because, like we said, we are constantly improving and experimenting with this as well. So that is something important to keep in mind, but we're working hard to really release it to the full customer base as a final version as well.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, perfect. I think that we don't have any more questions. So thank you for all the inputs and comments, and of course for being here today for this new episode. I really hope you've enjoyed the MobieTalks and the information we shared. Tomorrow at the latest, we're going to send you an email with more information about Mobie, about artificial intelligence and how it can be used to improve the employee experience as well in retail and hospitality, and the recording, of course, if you want to rewatch the MobieTalks. So, of course, feel free to contact us if you have any question, if you want to know more, we're here. So just send us an email. And of course, I would like to thank Johan and Anna and also Julia, because she was taking care of the chat in the meantime, for being here, for sharing your experience and all those great information. So thank you. Have a nice day and see you at the next MobieTalks. Bye.
Bye.